When luxury builders go out on their own and build boutique communities like the one that we are in today, you usually strike gold. In today's video, we have two of you guys' favorite builders on the channel. We have Taylor Morrison and TriPointe Homes, and they are doing just exactly that in the community of Trillium out here in Richmond, Texas. And so this is a 5-year project, not super big by standards of what you experience often on my channel with these mega communities that'll go 15, 20, 30 years. This one is about halfway done, and it's doing a couple things. It's giving you some of the lowest entry tax rates. You're around 2.7. It's giving you some of the lowest pricing for stuff that is around this size range, and it's giving you a luxury quality product with amenities, so you're not really giving up anything, just the more well-known names of some of your things like Austin Point and Aliana, which we're about 5 minutes from right now. So this is that perfect balance of getting everything that you want without maybe the name recognition, but you're not really sacrificing anything. If anything, you're getting the best of all worlds. If that sounds good, stay tuned. And as we walk over to the Taylor Morrison 60-foot model, this dynamic between Taylor Morrison and TriPointe is not a new one. If you guys have been following the channel for a while, there was a smaller, kind of more entry-level inventory community that did this exact same combination, where you kind of got that best bang for your buck, and it was actually one of my sleeper neighborhoods for people that were looking in the Cypress area. If you're not familiar with what I'm talking about, the neighborhood is called Mason Woods. It was in Sapphire ISD. It had pricing in the 200,000s for the longest, and so for anybody that wanted to be in Sapphire and was kind of priced out of what Bridgeland was doing or what the Ellison community was doing or Marvita had started to do when their prices started to kind of balloon, that was the sleeper community that I had, and it looks like we're getting that same kind of dynamic out here in Richmond. However, the difference between these two communities is that out here you still can build and have a customized experience, where that neighborhood was completely all inventory. You kind of see what you see and you get what you get. And so it'll be lovely to step up to see what we get in this, I guess, bigger footprint in a more affluent style community. So I'm excited. I haven't seen this plan before. I know in Avalon they had some 60, 70, and 80-foot collections over there, so I believe I've seen this collection, but not at this exact plan. So I'm excited to explore with you, and we'll check back in after this one, and we'll go and check out some of the beautiful homes that TriPointe has. And I think I'm going from memory. I see a lot of models with you guys, but I think that is actually one of my favorite TriPointe 60-foot wide products that I've ever seen, if I'm remembering the right one. When we get in there, I'll let you know if I'm confusing it with something else or if it's catfishing me, but how it looks on the outside, I think that's the one that I'm thinking about in my head, and that's a beautiful plan. So I know y'all are gonna love that, but stick with me. All right, so up first, we have the Sapphire plan, and this is their 60-foot product line. So we'll go in and let me know what y'all think. And shout out to Brittany that I actually missed. She's buying a home next door and says she loves the channel, but now it's giving me even more motivation to film because I miss Brittany. But thanks for the support, Miss Brittany. So it looks like we got a office off the front. He's having an important call, so sorry for skipping that. Got a half bath. Coming with linen, and then we come into the Texas thing that we love about Texas. These tall ceilings in the family room. Got a little peekaboo catwalk. I'm loving what I'm seeing, y'all. But yeah, shout out to Brittany. Thanks for the support. I'll catch you on the next one. All right. This would normally be your garage entry. So you're gonna have a little mud space. And this is your open concept kitchen. Super pretty. And then it cuts through to the dining. So I kind of like how they have this set up to where you could cook and then bring dinner in there. I think that's a good setup. You also have a little informal niche over here. So I think that's pretty cool. Tucked behind the kitchen, we have a full ensuite. Okay. Stepping on into one thing Taylor Morrison gonna do. They're gonna hit you with that branding, that TM. They're gonna let you know you're in the Taylor Morrison house. Them and Toll Brothers, they do that, boy. They want you to know. All right. Now hold on. Did this thing have 2 laundries? Am I making that up? No, I'm making that up. Okay, so yeah, laundry's back there. We have a more formal dining. That's your pantry. That would be your garage where they have the offices in right now. Laundry, okay. But yeah, really tall ceilings, good windows, lots of natural light in here. Good sized patio. Looks like they have the gas out here. At least from the options that I've seen, it looks like the gas is kind of more of a standard for them. And in certain communities, it is, and some is not. Like in Mason Woods, I don't think anybody had gas in their backs. And so that's one of the things that if you're building it, you'd be able to add. If it's in inventory, they may or may not have it, just depending on what most of their sales out here do. So that is something to keep in mind for sure. All right, back in, but good size backyard. Yeah, I just like this view. This is a beautiful view. Head into the primary to give you a good feel. Oh, this is really good size. Really good size. Nice windows. This is kind of that David Weekley usually does this where they'll have the big single pane non-operable window, and then they'll have the rest on the side of it, making it a little bit interesting so it's not just 3 straight windows. You come into your primary suite, separated vanity, no make-ready station in here that I can see, and I don't think they would be able to do it in here just with how this is laid out. But you do have a nice size shower. Here's your linen closet where you handle your business, and then another linen closet. They probably could have forced it in one of these linen closet spaces. I think this is a good size closet. Nice. Cheney would have liked that. She would have been like, oh, this is my hiding spot. But yeah, so just out the gate, I'm liking what I'm seeing. We have 2 full beds, an office, and laundry with a more formal dining and a breakfast niche in here. So that's what I expect to see, and kind of what I try to explain to my clients that are looking at different product lines and describing this space. You typically get this at about 60 foot wide, where you have formal dining. You'll have I'm expecting upstairs to see probably 2 or 3 more bedrooms and a media room and a flex. That's what I'm expecting. So if that's not the case when we get upstairs, I'll call that out. But you start to see this type of space around 35-ish 100 square feet and at this width. If you're 35 or so 100 square feet and a little bit narrower, you may start to lose a bedroom, or a bedroom has to be an office or a bedroom. You kind of start losing things just because the foundation footprint isn't big enough, okay? All right. But beautiful. I love. That's a good view. All right. Take it upstairs. We got peekaboos off the front. Main peekaboos for the peekaboo crew. And I think I was right with how they have that framed off. But let's check out this bedroom off the stairs. Good size. Full bath. I wonder if all right, it's starting to heat up and it is cool in here, y'all. So they are one of the builders that do spray foam insulation. But looking at this attic space, I wonder if this is an option to add maybe another bedroom over here. But yeah, spray foam is definitely becoming more and more popular here with some of the builders. The one thing that I will say to caution with the spray foam is I've been seeing kind of more and more reports, just like, and not with this builder specifically, but with a couple other builders that are using spray foam right now, you're starting to see a lot more headlines of I'm having mold issues. And I don't think it's necessarily the product of the spray foam itself, but more so the conditions that we have here in Houston. It's very muggy, it's very humid, and we're basically dealing with 100% humidity every day, spring, summer, winter, fall, right? It's just muggier here, and so things can get a little bit damp. The way things are constructed these days, they're super tight, and so you don't have the airflow and the removal of moisture like you maybe would have had with some of the older homes. The trade-off with that is your home is more energy efficient. You should use less on heating and cooling than you would for older homes, but everything has a trade-off. And so you kind of can't have it all. One of the things that most people would suggest is to get like a roof vents to get stuff out of your attic so you don't start to kind of have that moisture and things build up around your units and start getting into the spray foam, so on and so forth. One of the things that I also suggest to my clients is also getting a moisture reading during your inspection period. So before you close, look at that stuff, make sure that everything is in the tolerable zone and that we're not creating active mold before you close on it, because it's just going to be a nightmare to fight once you've taken possession and they no longer have control of your thermostat to say, you know, that they did something wrong. Okay, so not to freak you out, super efficient. They're going to be some of the lowest energy bills that you probably have in the metro, them and other builders like David Weekley that do have the spray foam insulation. However, it's something that you kind of have to be cognizant of because it's a different condition than most builders have here that just use the wood and then the pink insulation. Okay, a lot of yapping. Back to the crib. This is a really good, man, that's a big room. All right, so that's a closet in there. I would imagine that they have their security stuff in. We got the linen. And it looks like they got this Jack and Jill. So for those of y'all that's been following me long enough, you know I ain't walking through there. I'm walking around because I got to get these minutes. But yeah, I really like this layout. This is a really, really good layout. So this is one of those ones that I'm gonna have to keep in my back pocket when somebody describes this kind of home. If they're looking out here, I'll have to point them in this direction, man, because this is super nice. Good sized game room. Followed into a pretty good size movie room. Nice. This looks like the other side. Okay, so they Jack and Jill this one to like the play area. So they got an open door for this entertainment wing. Did they give you your own bathroom back here? It doesn't look like they did. So that bathroom is for 3 different people. I'm not the hugest fan of that, but I would imagine that you could spend the money and get everybody their own bathrooms up here. Just with the caliber of builder that Taylor Morrison is, I would imagine that you would have that as an option. But if I'm looking at the space, what would you give up? Maybe you would be, there's some closet behind there, so maybe that changes that closet. Or maybe this little knockout here, maybe this changes. Is it super deep? Yeah, I would imagine that you would have a bathroom like on the opposite side of this wall in this space, should this have an ensuite, just with manipulating the space. But beautiful. I'm loving what I'm seeing so far. Let me pull out the sheets. Again, shout out to Bobby for allowing me to come in here and check out their homes. I'm always appreciative. I don't do the prep call part of, I guess, the test and the vibe of whether or not I think someone will be good to my clients. Is if I show up out of the blue and say, hey, this is who I am, can I film here? That's like a little subtle test that I do for y'all. So if you see them on the channel, that means they passed the vibe check, at least for that time, okay? And so looking at pricing, pull out old Taylor Morrison stuff, if I could find it. Everybody done gave me so many sheets just now within the 10 minutes that I was here. All right, so looking at a plan like this is a Sapphire plan. They have one in inventory right now under $700 at like $699 in inventory. She does have lots that you can build on. So if you want to go the build route, hit me up, or we can reach out to Bobby and kind of get things going. If you are going to the smaller products that we're not going to quite show for Taylor Morrison on today's video, they have stuff ranging from the high 3s. Right now we got some in inventory about 1,600 square feet at like $385, which is a great price to be in the area like this. We're in Fort Bend ISD, 2.76 tax rate. HOA is only $1,000, and you get pickleball courts. You're gonna get the splash pad, pocket ball, or pocket parks, and a pool. So it's not a throwaway community to have something that you can get and build, still customize it around the $385 mark, all the way on up to the biggest thing that they have back here seems to be going right at about $800, the Rialto plan. I think that's a really good vibe. This is a Sapphire, as I said before, around 3,400 square feet, and that's what you can expect for about a 60-footer on that's 3,500 square feet. That's about what I expect. I'm expecting to see 4 beds, a game room, a loft area, which this would be the game loft, and a media. And we have an office up front. So it did all the things that I'm expecting it to do, and at a price of, what did I say that was? Mid sixes? Oh, $699. To put that into perspective, for out here, that is affordable. We are in Richmond. Richmond is one of those parts of Houston that's kind of more established. You're kind of close to Sugar Land, and there's a lot of more affluent big neighborhoods like your Alianas, like your Sweetwater, There's a lot of big, like, old school names that are very nearby. You're not too far from like a Cinco Ranch. You're just in a place where there's a certain affluent status, so the price per square foot is just a little bit higher out here. If we were to compare that to Meridiana, for that same 700, you could probably get 300 or 400 more square feet if you were to get like a 222 plan or a 224 plan. Or if you were to go to the Newmark series, you could probably get a little bit bigger in my neighborhood of Meridiana. But for out here, this is really great pricing, okay? And some of the lowest tax rates, okay? All right, so we have a few more to see. I want y'all to go and check out with me the TriPointe Homes, and then once we get into this side by side on the 60s, you'll let me know which one you're rocking with a little bit more, but stay with me. All right, up next, we got the Barnhart plan. This is the 60-foot offering from TriPointe. And as I walk up to the door, I can say that I think I was mixing this up with another plan, but I can already tell that I'm about to be in love, so let's be in love together. Oh. Goodness. All right, so let's get into it. First thing that I'm feeling is this feels much wider than a 60-foot opening. This feels more like 70-ish, 70, 80-foot openings. This is kind of reminding me of a Toll Brothers Carmen plan, how they have these stairs tucked off over there. For those of y'all in the comments that are Toll Brothers fans, let me know if I'm tripping on that one. But great size room. Looks like this one has its own ensuite. Yeah, good closet. For a secondary bedroom, great closet. Tall ceilings in here. Another one of those features that they often do is have the windows in their bathrooms up high, just to let that different layer of light in. Always a fan of that. We got, I would imagine, a storage closet off the front. Yep, little coat closet. We'll do this little dip to the right. This would be your garage bay. And we got laundry. Okay, so laundry doesn't connect. Let's keep that in mind. Got a half bath so people don't have to go to someone's bedroom to handle their business. Got a beautiful little office up here. Don't get catfished by the knickknacks. This is all stuff that you can do, but the space is a really good space in here. Gorgeous, okay? Yeah, this is really reminding me of that Carmen plan from Toll on certain elements. But, oh, okay. All right, so they used their square footage and their 60-foot width differently. So they said, instead of giving you a tight, kind of more formal dining off the front, we'll tuck it back in this back corner, give you open concept vibes, but you don't feel like it's just free floating in nowhere, which I'm a fan of. And so this one actually just looks way more wide open. It just looks beautiful. Oh. Future Peekaboo crew will be up there in a little bit. Gorgeous. Love the windows. Love how this is framed. I don't mind the ceiling height dropping down in there to frame off the kitchen and show you the different spaces. I think that looks amazing. And TriPointe, man, TriPointe is one of them ones, man. And I just wish, I like legit wish that they were in more communities. I wish that they were in just so many more places, but for whatever reason, they seem to find themselves in more comfortable in neighborhoods, boutique communities like this, where it's like them partner with Toll or them partner with Taylor. They just seem to be more comfortable. But every time TriPointe is in a community where you can get a house like this size, or even, man, I take that back. They got a GoldenEye plan that's literally one of the most perfect 50-foot plans I've ever seen. And it's 50 and up for TriPointe. If they're in your neighborhood, go check them out, because they have some of the best layouts, and they're usually some of the most affordable plans that you'll get square foot for square foot in the neighborhood. And so when we look at the numbers on this one, I would expect this one to be a little bit closer in line to what you would expect, excuse me, in like a Meridiana pricing. Usually, we'll see. But like I said, I'm discovering this with y'all, but I'm just chef's kiss, okay? So go check out this patio and see how we feel about that. Is it already open? All right, so we got 10 to 15K on the sliders. I would imagine that this is extended. Anytime it usually kind of goes out past the building, is usually an extension. So I would imagine that this is a few thousand to kind of bump it up. Beautiful. And on a not so oversized lot, could you still fit a pool in here? Yep. Got plenty of room to fit a pool. You can make a bigger one that kind of shapes over there and comes in, got the indoor-outdoor feel. So I get that question a lot when dealing with this price point, because it's usually that growing family. You got 2 kids, a dog, and a cat usually, and them kids are swimming age, and you don't want to go to and from a park. And so yes, you could fit a pool in something like this very easily. And this is not an oversized lot. Beautiful. All right. I'm in love. Oh, I might have to get out of this. All right, back to it. Really great size. So again, choices that were made. Bigger bedroom to get more space in the bedroom space. I'm always for making my bedroom feel bigger. I'm always for making my bathroom feel bigger. So if I had to lose a dining room to do that, I would do that, because now this literally feels like a spa retreat, because you have the more square footage in here. This feels way wider, way bigger, way more grand. Sorry for the zebra lines, a lot of lights and a lot of windows in here. Sorry, unpaid actors. But this one feels way more grand, and I would imagine that it is not that much bigger than the house that is next door that we just saw, okay? Really great closet. You put a closet system in here, that thing's on go. Perfect place for your little luggage. Pretty tall ceiling, so you could take that closet system up as well. So yeah, man, what is this, linen? I don't think I opened this for you. This is linen closet behind. Man, I just wish, I truly wish that they were just more places on the north side. It seems like they're a little bit more north, at least from what I just can put together. It looks like they're more north, and then they have a pretty big offering in Bridgeland. But outside of that, it's just kind of one-off communities, kind of like this. And I wish they were everywhere. All right, back to it. So we came off the, actually, let me give some love to the Peekaboo crew. Yeah, beautiful view. And you come up the stairs. And we got this really good sized game room. This would be perfect for homeschool for us, entertainment for us. That'd be perfect for my little family. Good size little media space. Not the hugest, but again, it's a 60 foot. I'm expecting to see it. And you would be shocked at how many times you'll go through some of these inventory options and it's just not in there, and it just makes no sense for a house this size. Is it open? Can I get in? Oh, they got it locked. I know I like to creep on the attic spaces now just to see if you got potential to add more spaces. And this is a really good size room. Like, wow, these rooms feel so much bigger. Closet feels good. Now I do notice that the doors aren't 8 foot up here. So that's something that you would probably have to add if you wanted that. Really nice finishes on here, but more importantly, it's a really great size bathroom and another really good sized room. And the room sizes on this one is making this feel like it is so much bigger than the house we were just in. So now I'm curious, because it just feels like a trick is being played on me with the size of these rooms and bathrooms. All right, so let's go hop in this little media space and talk some numbers. If we come in here, sit y'all down right there. Thank y'all for rocking out with me to talk just overall numbers about the neighborhood. If you have any questions specifically on, kind of like what is available out here, we have base plans starting in the 40s, around $392, great price. We have stuff in the 50s, starting in the low 5s, great pricing. And we have stuff that is in the 60s, starting in the low 6s. So they actually follow the trend of what high-end luxury communities typically do, and that's kind of like the gut check for what I tell people to be expecting. So if you're buying a house that is 60 foot wide, expect most of those homes to be 600 to 700. If you were building something that was 70 foot wide, expect something to be 700 to about 850, right? That's the range. And when we compare that to somewhere like Meridiana often deviates from that and is a little bit more affordable than that. So Meridiana, for example, might have some 50s that might be in the mid to upper 4s. Most of the stuff, if you build it, would end up in the 5s. But if you catch inventory, and their base pricing is often starting in the 4s. All right, so it's a little bit more expensive than what Meridiana is, but this is a little bit closer than the one before, I believe, because the base price on this one. Okay, so here's the thing. This is how crazy this is. I'm walking in this space and I'm feeling like so many things just feel bigger. Would you be shocked if I told you that this was actually like 300 square feet smaller than the house that we were just in? I know that I am flabbergasted, because I'm looking at this like we lost the dining area, but everywhere else feels bigger. So I'm genuinely perplexed by that. And it's so important when I tell you guys, don't really get lost in the numbers. When you're just looking online and you're just like, oh yeah, I need something that's 3,800 square feet. I'm telling you, this feels every bit as big as some of the plans from Highland and Newmark that I kind of call out all the times as my gold standard for like a 36 to 3,800 square foot home. This feels every bit as big as those homes. And this is about 300 to 400 square feet smaller than all of those homes. And so layout is everything. And this one has a great layout. Base price on this one is $647. As shown, this one's probably as shown with all the upgraded carpets and flooring and countertops and sliders and all of that. You're probably closer to 758 if I had to just put some eyes on it for this size home. But from what I'm seeing right now, man, that is a steal of a base price to get something that is this big that you can customize. You probably need to put like 70,000 into it to make it pretty. So you would still probably be low sevens to make it look fairly pretty and model home-esque. But this might be, and for those of y'all who've been watching a while, bear with me, because every time I go and see a new plan that just does some stuff that I would love to have in my home, I kind of simp out a little bit. So take this with a grain of salt. All right. For those of y'all that have been here a while, take that with a grain of salt. For those of y'all that are new, this might be my new favorite 60-foot plan for TriPointe Homes. Like, this is a beautiful plan. I know in Bridgeland they have some gorgeous plans in Bridgeland. In Woodson's Reserve, they got some gorgeous plans in Woodson's Reserve that do special things as well. And I just think what it's coming down to is TriPointe damn near might be one of my top builders that I just very rarely get to see. And I've sold a bunch of them to say I very rarely see them, just because they don't seem to want to play nice in big communities that I publicize on this channel. So I'm gonna have to go out of my way to do a better job of showing them, because I think they do a really great job with layouts and designs for the price. Man, now I'm excited to see what the 50 and the potentially the 40, if those are open. I'm excited to see what those do, because this is a really good use of 60-foot space. And starting at under 650, you put about 50,000 in, you could get you a gorgeous home that has all the spaces that you want. But we got more to see. Stick with me. What's up, family? Thank you for checking out my video, and I wanted to just hop in really quick and give you an update on the progress of our brand new website. Still working on some things. It's not quite where I want it to be, but we did get a feature back that I thought would be super important for my channel that focuses on new construction. If you've been following me for the last couple weeks, I told you that I was going to be pushing the tech support team to get back a feature that I had at my last brokerage, and it looks like we have done it over here at the Vibe. So shout out to the Vibe and shout out to y'all for having this feature back. With my channel being largely new construction stuff, it's super important to be able to filter by a builder. So when I go to a specific neighborhood and you're just like, I want that builder in that neighborhood, or I want that builder somewhere else, I wanted you to be able to look that up and save that as a saved search. So if we hop on over to my website and we use my favorite neighborhood in Houston as an example. So let's say we go on over to Meridiana and we use that as a search. You can now slide on over to the filters. Come on down, and you'll see a couple things added that wasn't there last week, right? We got some more features that they added on here, but the most important thing that they added was the builder name. And so now you can come in here and say, hey, I only want to see Weston Homes. And so we'll be able to filter out very quickly by Weston Homes. So in the past, you know, as recently as a month ago, if you came to my website, you could only basically filter it by your price point and size, and let's say new construction, and everything popped up from all builders that fit that. Now you can dial it in and say, I only want to see Weston Homes because I love that spiral staircase, I love the rotunda, I love the Carter plan, whatever it is. You can set that up as a saved search now, which I think is super important. So all you would have to do, click this button. They're going to ask you some information and some follow-up questions. They're going to send you notifications with houses like those in the areas that you specify for whatever you're looking for. But yeah, I just wanted to update you on the status of the website. We're still working on some things, still making some things better for y'all, but this is a step in the right direction, and I wanted to give you that update. So now let's hop back into the video. All right, up next we have the Falcon plan. This looks like it is a one story, but it's their 50 foot, so we'll step on in here, see how it makes us feel. Lovely, okay. Have a bedroom off the front door with a little galley closet back there. Full bath. I don't know if this one comes with the ability to make this its own ensuite. Looks like we have an office flex space on this one. Beautiful. Good size though. Creeping on over to a little closet. It looks like this will be your garage. YouTube. No, you're good, man. Perfectly fine, I promise. Beautiful layout, open concept. Good size pantry. All right, let's check out some of these middle bedrooms. Love the ceiling height on these rooms in a one story, but I am a little bit of one story bias. Because of the ceiling height. I'm such a one story fan. Yeah, really good. This one reminds me of, there's a Chesmar plan that kind of has this layout with the office on the other side, and then there's a version of it that has the office like in between the rooms that this kind of reminds me of. Got the dining flexed in the middle. Love the ceiling detail. That's open. Good size back patio. Indoor, outdoor vibe. So even on this one, could I get a pool back here? Yup. And they're showing you that with this permanent structure. So it's gonna be one of those Toll Brothers skinny pools. Are you throwing a pool party jam? I don't know. Maybe you are. But could you fit one? Absolutely. Would it be worth it to take up all your grass back here? Only you can tell me that. But yes, you could absolutely fit one. Beautiful. I'm
going to a meeting next door, so if you want to refilm this.
No, you're good.
You're welcome to.
You going in the 60 or the 40?
60.
Okay, yeah, that's perfect. Beautiful. This is a really great size. Really great size room. Just showing you how much space you have. Again, I'm a fan on giving me the space in my bedroom that I am in. Good size bath. Sorry about the zebras, unpaid actors. Let me try to get in front of the window. closet kind of tucked in the closet. It's good size. So you probably have room for a make-ready station, but it looks like you didn't get one, and this is where you would handle your business. Let's see. This is the Falcon plan. Let me see if I can give you a basis for what this base price would be on this home. Go through my stack of papers again, and then we'll head on next door to talk about what that 40 has in store. All right, this is the 50. This is about 2,600 square feet, and this base price starts at $536. That's good. So I can say that if we're comparing, this is going to be priced kind of more comparative to like your Ellisons and your Bridgelands for a price per square footage. It's a little bit higher than, I think I'm spoiled because I live in Meridiana and I just kind of know what things go for out there. So this is definitely gonna be more expensive for a house that is this size. If I had to compare it to something size-wise, this would be in line with about what the Kingston plan is for Highland Homes. And with Highland Homes, you get 4-bed, a media space, and a office in that. Instead of the media and office, it looks like they gave you more kitchen, living, and bedroom space, which is a trade-off that you would have to decide over here on this plan, or you'd have to move up to a bigger plan, which is all an option that you would have to choose from, right? But at the pricing of what this is, if you want to be on this side of the world, these are luxury builders that can give you pretty good layouts out here for an affordable price, okay? But the thing that the other neighborhoods like your Bridgelands, like your Ellisons, like your Grange, and all these other places that are kind of popping up on this side of the world is they don't have the tax rate that this one has. And to remind you again, we're starting under 3%, okay? So by the time you homestead, you're mid twos out the gate, right? Where a couple of us in these much bigger communities, we got a long way to go, okay? All right, but that was the 50-footer, about 2,600 square feet, 4-bed with an office / flex space. What I would do if we were using this home, I would probably make that small bedroom my office. I would probably make that office a media space. In my little unit, we would just be down the space. That's what I would do if we were moving into this. I think this feels great otherwise. I think this is a great entertaining home, who I think this would actually be perfect for someone that is downsizing, that likes the wide open concept and the open feel. You can do this slider, and then you got this indoor-outdoor kind of vibe, and I think that would be perfect for someone that is downsizing. Or if you're in a situation like us where you just got the one kid and you don't need all the spaces, you would have just one room for guests, and then you would have that one extra kind of space for whatever, then I think this would be perfect for you as well. But if you got 2 and 3 kids and you plan on having guests or somebody to come visit or in-laws and that stuff, this doesn't have quite the spaces, although it does have the square footage. So while I got you and I'm just thinking about it, let me look at the other plans on the 50s to see if they have an alternative on the 50s that's a big 1-story. And it looks like this is actually, this is their biggest 1-story in the 50s. So if you wanted to change this around, you would probably have to pay for extensions and bump outs and all kind of stuff. And at that point, you're kind of creeping into probably damn near the 60-foot price range to kind of make it make sense. It would probably be much easier for you to just compromise on the 1-story and go up to a 2-story if you're trying to stay in the 50-foot price range, okay? All right, so we got one more to check out. We got the 40-foot model coming up. I'm excited to see it. All right, last but not least, we have the Cormorant plan. It's 40 foot. I've never seen this plan, so let's see what it does. And we got a little spiral off it. Hold on. Beautiful. Okay, I'm excited. So this is gonna be your garage door. Coming in, looks like we have a little coat closet off of that door. What is this? More Harry Potter storage over here. Open concept sort of vibe, but how this is framed, I'm imagining that they're making spaces and moments for us upstairs. We'll see if that is true. But you notice on this smaller footprint, we lose bedrooms up front, we lose office up front. That's the trade-off as you kind of go smaller and smaller on the foundation of what you have in a home. You got the laundry kind of up front. Got a half bath so people don't have to come in your room to do their business. We love that. Got a tall pantry, so you could take shelves up to give you more of the space you need. On a 40-foot, I'm expecting to see a table floating in the middle, and that is what they have here, just to kind of best optimally use the space as best as possible. They're showing you can even get a slider on the 40 if you're willing to pay for it. Nice. This one feels like a little bit of an oversized yard comparatively to the other ones. And it's always funny to me when the builders give these smaller models these damn near half-acre lots, because the people come in or they'll see this video and they'll be like, Aaron, hey man, I need that plan on a lot that big. And I'm just like, all right, bro, that's model home magic. Don't be catfish. Year 2026, don't let the model home tours catfish you, all right? You should know better by now, okay? But I'm here to remind you if you don't know better, all right? Again, really good size room, king size bed, oversized furniture, still enough for a seating area in the corner. It's a really good size. Looks like in this plan, they opted for a super shower over a tub situation. We still have 2 vanities, your linen, where you handle your business, and a good little closet. Not bad. I would imagine that you could still, just with the space that we have here, have a tub and shower, not combination but standalones. It just would be a little bit tighter shower and a tighter tub. But that's beautiful. But now let's go on to this spiral staircase that you get in your 40, which I think is dope. That make me feel like some big money. Nice, real size, nice size game room. We'll go check out the living wing back here just to see how these feel. Good size. This feels really good. Again, to say that this is a 40 in. would imagine somewhere between 23 and, well, I've been wrong all this video, so let me wait until I look it up, because I've been wrong this whole video on sizing them things with my guessing. TriPointe's hitting me with the the movie magic on this one. Excuse me. Another good size. Squishmallows. What we got here? Did I look in there already? Yeah, it feels like I did. Linen. Off to this game room, which is a beautiful size. Now, some of the trade-off of being in a house this size is that I don't expect to see a media room, right? We just don't have, and as I look in here, we don't have the attic space to even carve it out unless there's some sleeper attic space back there that I don't know about. If we see a door in this closet, then maybe I'll be able to tell you. No door, so I don't even know if they would be able to carve it out on this plan, but that's not uncommon for a plan that is this width. But still good size. Who I think this would be perfect for: young family, one kid, want the two-story feel like the spiral staircase, but understands that this will be a future either rental for you or something that you park your money for a few years, and as your family grows, you'll move on and do other things. All right. But yeah, that is this gorgeous home. Let's see if I can give y'all the pricing on this, and we'll call it a day. But I think that of the series between Taylor Morrison and TriPointe over here, I think TriPointe has them beat on just overall aesthetics. But also, in my opinion, I think I liked these layouts a little bit better than Taylor Morrison, but they also have some great layouts and some great plans that you can choose from. So just because we saw certain models today, that's not all they have. You know, if you have any questions for Taylor Morrison, let me know and I'll hit up Bobby, or if you got some questions for TriPointe, let me know and I'll hit up Julie. This one is, 2,400 square feet. That's about what I expected. I'm reading through here. It looks like you can add another flex space, but it doesn't say that it can be a movie space. So if you wanted something that was a little bit bigger, you would probably have to go up to the Kingfisher or the Kia plan to get everything you wanted, because it looks like that has an option for another game room and flex space, as well as another bedroom upstairs. So yeah, this was a beautiful neighborhood. I'm glad that one of y'all commented on it. Man, when I did the Austin Pointe video a couple months ago, somebody was in the comments like, man, what do you think about Trillium? And I was like, I've only been there like once, let me go check it out. So I'm glad I came back to put eyes on it, to film it for you guys, and to hopefully let it be another option for all of those of you that are looking out in that Southwest Houston. You know, there's a lot of people that love the old Katy side, Richmond, Rosenberg, Sugarland. There's people that just prefer to be on that side of the world. And it looks like y'all are starting to get a lot of options, right? With this one being in place, you got about 2 more years left on this one, so don't wait too long. And with the birth of places like Austin Pointe, that's gonna be like 8,000 acres and just be gigantic, right? You got a lot of stuff that's coming out this way for the next 10 to 20 years, okay? But that's the video for the day. If you need to know anything about incentives, just to do a quick recap, we are in Fort Bend ISD schools. You are in a MUD district. However, your MUD taxes out here only bring your total tax to 2.76, and that's going down. That was the last year's rate, so I would imagine that it will be going down since they have built more houses out here. Okay. Fort Bend ISD, as we said, HOA is run by Crest Management. You usually see, what's the big one that we got? Infomark is usually notoriously the HOA community runner out here for most communities, but it looks like they have Crest Management. You also just have the HOA of $1,000, which is fairly low considering that you still have a pool, you're still going to have amenities, pickleball, all of those things. It looks like you have Xfinity internet out here, CenterPointe gas, and then just random other utility stuff out here that doesn't really matter to you right now unless you're building or buying out here. Okay, but other than that, man, that is the video for today. Low interest rates, or not low interest rates, low property taxes. And what does that mean? I know I throw that out there kind of flippantly, but what does that mean? Quick dirty numbers. For a $500,000 house, which most of these are kind of going to average in that like 550-ish kind of range, you'll have a lot of that 50-foot. They have the most plans out here, so you'll have a lot of more options in that 50-foot range. What that means is that if you were to have the standard kind of property tax rate here in Houston, is that you can expect somewhere between $14,000 and $16,000 in property taxes every year. But in this neighborhood, using that same size home, you'll be somewhere in that like 11 to 13. So you're saving a few thousand. That's several hundred a month. If you're escrowing it separate from your escrow and you're doing it, as a lump sum payment, that's going to be a few thousand that you save every year just for the property taxes. You can't really get around that in the Houston metro because a lot of these places used to be old farmland. They didn't have the drainage, they didn't have the flood mitigation, they didn't have the fiber internet, they didn't have the gas, they didn't have all the stuff that you need to make this an actual nice community, and you usually pay for that. The mud taxes in this neighborhood are still over 1.2%, which is still fairly high, and that's the bulk of your property taxes. Once that comes down, you're going to have a property tax rate that's fairly low once this neighborhood pays off the infrastructure for that. So I think that when you have luxury builders, like I said, that build a boutique community, you get the best of all worlds, where the pricing is really good, you get a lot of variety, you get a neighborhood that's going to finish quick, and so those taxes should come down even sooner. You just have a lot of things really going for you. And I want to be that resource for you, whether it's this neighborhood or any of the other ones, whether it's Austin Point, whether you're looking at my neck of the woods of Meridiana, whether you're looking in Cypress, whether you're looking in Conroe, whether you're looking in Magnolia. No matter where you are, I have relationships all over, and I want to be that go-to resource for you to make sure that you're not overpaying in any market, no matter where you're looking, any builder, no matter who you're looking at. We can find a dream home in whatever your budget is. But if you loved homes that look like this and you're not quite sure what to be, call, text, email, carrier pigeon. The best way to get in touch with me is going to be to call this number right now. You've probably seen it thrown on the screen a few times. I also have a QR code that I'll drop on the screen that'll take you over directly to book a call on my calendar so we can sit down and get a game plan for you and your family, just to make sure that you're taken care of. If you go out on tour solo, a lot of these people know me. A lot of these people have seen me on social media from different communities that they've been at before. And so just say, Aaron's my agent, put my info down. But I'm telling you, if you give me the heads up before you go somewhere, we got a much better opportunity of getting you a much better deal, whether that's on a build or if that's on an inventory home. But that is the video for the day. If you loved these homes like I did, and you're a super fan of TriPointe Homes, and you're a fan of Taylor Morrison, and you want to know some other places where we got some homes just like this one, I know that you're going to absolutely love this video right here.